Hey guys, David Jackson Jr. here. How are you? You know, one of the things that occupies a lot of my thoughts these days is the unfortunate sense of political divisiveness that's taking place in the United States right now. We're at a time where people aren't talking, they aren't cooperating, they aren't communicating well together, and it makes me yearn for a time of greater inclusivity, greater understanding. And so today I was reflecting on something that represented a much better time when people collaborated and worked together in a different way. And that was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s seminal I Have a Dream speech. And as I began to think about the power of that message and the way that it drew people together of every culture, fiber, and stripe together, it was a powerful thought. And I pondered what made that speech so powerful. Why did it resonate with people from every cross section in the United States and many around the world? And as I thought about it, I came to the conclusion that most of us probably have a lot more Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in us than we thought. What do I mean by that? What I mean is this. Everybody has a dream. Literally, everybody has a dream. It may not be a dream that they share with the public. It may not be a dream that they've completely crystallized for themselves. It may be a dream that they're afraid isn't so socially acceptable. But everybody has a dream. Dreams are powerful. I remember as a child talking to my father, and my father used to say to me, if you're going to dream, you may as well dream big. Because dreams don't cost anything. So a big dream doesn't cost any more than a little dream. And I have seen this concept of people wanting, yearning, striving for more than they have across continents, across companies, across cultures. I particularly remember a conversation that I had with a doorman in Rancho Mirage, California. I was in beautiful Palm Springs giving a seminar on cross-cultural communication to a group of banking investment people. And as I was walking out of the door, I would see the doorman every day. And we began to talk. And finally, one day I asked him, I said, what's your name? And he said, my name is George. So from that point forward, every morning I would say, hey, George, how are you? And he'd say, hey, David, how are you? So finally, one day he said, exactly what is it that you're doing here? And I said, I'm giving an address to the investment forum that's here. And he said, what kind of address? And I told him what I was talking about. And he said, do you like it? And I said, no, I don't like it. I love it. Because I love talking to people. I love sharing information. I love giving back. And he got this wistful look on his face. And I said, what are you thinking, George? And he said, well, he said, I'm a doorman. And he said, I make good money. People hand me sometimes $20 bills, $50 bills, $100 bills. He said, but this isn't really what I want to do. And I said, well, tell me, George, what is it you'd really like to do? I'm naturally curious, plus I'm a huge believer in empowerment. So I wanted to hear. And he said, if I tell you, do you promise you won't laugh? And I said, absolutely, guaranteed I won't laugh. And he said, I want to be a toy maker. He said, I have these ideas for these custom toys that I'd like to build and sell. He said, sounds funny, doesn't it? And I said, no. He said, it sounds stupid, doesn't it? I said, no. He said, sounds impossible, doesn't it? And I said, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. So no, George, it does not sound stupid. I have never forgotten that encounter because I can remember the sign of liberation on his face when I told him that I believed that he could build those toys. And it's something that I'd like to share with you too. I would like you to explore, what is it that you really want to do? What is your dream? One of the first steps to realizing it is to define it and crystallize it. You can't make it come true if you don't know what it represents, if you don't know what it is. So you have to clarify what your dream is. And then you make your dream specific. And then you develop the steps required to make the specificity of that dream come true. And then you forget what any of the other naysayers or doubters have to say and follow the passion that leads you to your dream. I don't care if it's making toys. I don't care if it's going to law school. I don't care if it's opening a daycare center. I don't care if it's becoming the highest level member in the multi-level marketing network that you're a part of. Pursue your dream. Don't let anyone discourage you from your dream. Don't let any of the thieves of joy steal your dream. Take complete ownership of your dream. But understand, with that ownership comes action. Your dream isn't going to come true if you just sit back and say, I want to make a special toy, and I'm going to sit here, put my hands on my head, and will myself until that first toy comes out of production. You've got to do it. You've got to take it. You've got to own it. You've got to believe it. In 1993, I took the first North American specialty coffee company to Southeast Asia. People told me it couldn't be done. They said, people in that part of the world, they grow coffee. Indonesia was the exact location where my first spot was. And they said, that is Java. That's where they grow coffee. They aren't going to pay a premium amount of money for a specialty cup of coffee. But what I understood and what my dream was rooted in was the recognition they weren't buying a cup of coffee. They were buying a lifestyle experience. They were buying something that made them feel other than what they really were at that moment. And so that became my dream. And that dream came true. And we became a very successful coffee company. And we were there before Starbucks, before Gloria Jeans, before Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, and many, many others that dominate the Asian landscape now. And why were we there? Because I had a dream. But I put wings under that dream by taking action, by making a plan, by doing the research, by working 3 years without earning a penny to make that dream come true. But the level of satisfaction that I saw when that first cafe opened, and then the second, and then all of the others, was immeasurable. It was worth every drop of blood, sweat, and tears that I made for my dream to come true. So what I would say to you today is the same thing that I said to myself. If you've got a dream, put wings under it and make it happen. I don't care whether you're teaching. I don't care whether you're an attorney. I don't care if you're a doctor. If you have a dream, if you have an unbridled passion that's yearning to be fulfilled, if there's something that you love in and believe in enough to do for free, you owe it not only to yourself, but to the rest of the world to put your dream out there. And remember, you don't need to feel alone. Why? Because everybody has a dream.